What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Legion of Raw show, post Raw. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Vince Russo, my man, how you doing tonight, brother?
What is up, Doctor? How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Life is good, man. I'm feeling good. It's another Monday, man. It's another Monday to explain to the listeners and to the viewing audience how amazing Raw was and how much we thoroughly enjoy watching the product every week.
Chris, just another manic Monday. Chris,
I wish it was Sunday,
bro. Let me put let me put this in its proper perspective for you, bro. Last Friday night, as a matter of fact, I started binge watching Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Bro, I watched 80 episodes of that TV show in 10 days.
Wow.
Okay, bro, wow. 80 shows in 10 days.
Wow.
Must see TV. And bro, I am telling you, a lot of the times I was falling asleep. I woke up. I had to go back. Like I didn't want to miss a second of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I swear when I'm watching this Raw show tonight and it's here, bro, it airs from 6 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when they've got, the first two entrances of that gauntlet match at 8 o'clock, I'm like, is this match really going to be an hour, guys? Like, I mean, you guys are really going to make me sit here for an hour. Again, Chris, watching the 3 hours of this show, I don't know how you can book this show any lazier. I really don't, bro. I don't know, like, how you could put any least amount of effort into this show.
Yeah, I agree, man. I was just really, I was listening to a podcast as I was listening. I was looking at the show. I was so much more into the podcast that I was listening to. It was a theology podcast with a couple of friends of mine, and I was just into that way more than I was into the show, man. And it was just like, man, this is really, really, really difficult. Here's a good question. What do you think about this? Would Raw be better after 2 hours?
No doubt about it. No, that a lot of people, you always hear people say, SmackDown's the better show, blah blah blah. Bro, I'm telling you, people are saying that because it's 2 hours. I mean, you don't realize that, but if SmackDown had to be, drug out over 3 hours, nobody would be saying that's a good show. You don't realize, bro, the difference that hour makes. But listen, man, we all know, and it's business. It's greed. The WWE is never going to turn down that third hour money. But Chris, in the process, what they've really done is just watered down their show to almost make it unwatchable.
What you would do for a buck, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I get it, bro, but I don't know if I would hurt my product to cash out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It just, sometimes, well, I would say a lot of times, your reputation is a lot more invaluable than just getting a dollar. You know what I mean? And your reputation lasts way longer than a buck would. And it's now at this point, I'm thinking, like, for WWE, do they even care at this point about their reputation in exchange for a dollar, in exchange for a buck? And it's pretty sad to even consider.
I mean, I honestly don't think they do, bro. You can't watch what we just watched and say that company cares. I
agree, man.
Bro, you can't do it.
I agree.
And I want to make one thing clear too, like, Chris, because, like, I get this all the time when I'm very, very stiff and hard on Raw. And then like people are constantly reminding me of, the Peacock deal and the this deal and the that deal and the billions of dollars. Bro, the business deals they're making has nothing to do with them putting on a horrible product. It's two different things, bro. Like the fact that Vince McMahon is parlaying this into billions of dollars.
Yes.
I give him all the credit in the world, but bro,
Likewise.
That's totally different, Chris, than this being a terrible show.
I agree. 100%. And then again, at the end of the day, is it worth a buck? And then the more you allow yourself to get in that type of position, the more you're saying, okay, I want more eyes on my product. And the more you get yourself into potential scrutiny, because we can't get to the point, Vince, that we're giving WWE a pass compared to every other producer. I mean, if you are a producer, if you are a television show producer, you are under the scrutiny of the attraction of viewers. If you are at any network, if you're reducing viewers, a network executive looks at the numbers and say, oh, I'm seeing a downward slide. Either you need to do something to bump these numbers up, or we're going to have to cancel you or put you in a different time slot. That's how television production goes. WWE doesn't get a pass there.
Chris, I'm going to tell you something else to keep your eye on, okay? Because, bro, a lot of these people, Peacock, Fox, not so much the Saudis because I don't think they care. Mm-hmm. Bro, a lot of these people, a lot of these companies, these reputable companies, bro, at the end of the day, I don't think they really know who they're in bed with. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why, Chris, because people need to keep their eye out on this. Bro, the plane ride from hell that took place in the Bro, that's going to be a Dark Side of the Ring show.
Oh.
And, bro, I'm telling you, if I'm with Peacock and I'm with Fox, I'm watching this and I'm like, wait a minute, like, who the heck are we in bed with? And the only reason I'm saying that, Chris, is because as they lose more and more viewers, they're losing more and more stroke. Yeah. So in other words, if something like this comes out, and bro, from what I understand, we're going to find out a little bit more about the stewardesses who got paid off. The hush money to shut. They're going down that road.
Interesting.
And bro, again, now if I'm one of these companies with this because bro, that's the thing. They have no idea what the wrestling business really is. Right. They have no idea who Vince McMahon is, who they're in bed with. And that's the thing, bro, as they lose power, things like that can really, really come back to bite them in the rear end, bro. It really can, man.
100%, my man. 100%. 100%, my man. So speaking of that, let's start off with Miz TV episode. Starts with Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I mean it it starts off with Miz TV and Drew McIntyre. I mean, we've seen this before, and at the end of the day, at the end of the segment, the Miz says, "You know what? I've got leverage. I'm going out of the Elimination Chamber match because oh wait, I forgot. I'm the Money in the Bank winner. I didn't have to do this anyways." So somehow he said he had an aha moment. It was like, you know what? I got the briefcase. I could just cash it in after everybody compete against each other at the Elimination Chamber match. But for some reason I wanted to get in the match, but now I realize that I won't get in the match, and now someone else can take my spot. And then we see in backstage that he wanted it to be John Morrison, and we saw what happened there.
Bro, again, Chris, we're watching this and we're like, bro, how could you care? Like, how
Right.
could they care? How could they care? Bro, was it ever explained? I mean, Chris, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I watch these shows, but I don't think if you quizzed me on the shows afterwards, I'd probably fail because I'm really not paying attention. But did we ever get an explanation of why Drew as the champion was in this match? Was that ever explained?
See, you know what? Last week they were talking. Last week it was just the Shane and Adam Pearce started off Raw,
right?
And Shane just did nothing but give Adam Pearce, I guess his blessing or whatever to say, "Good job, you're doing a good job." He came in. They started talking about the matches, and he said, "Good job," and left.
Right.
And it was just hey, I've got an idea. Let's just have an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship with all former WWE champions. That was the angle. It wasn't anything else. That was it.
I didn't even realize all these guys were former WWE champions.
Yeah. That was the angle, man. All former WWE. And he said, "Good job. Good job, Adam Pearce." And that was it. And when I saw that, I said, wait, so why is Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber 6 weeks before Mania? I don't get what the point of that is, knowing
if he wins, he gets to pick his opponent. That's the gimmick, right? That is the gimmick. That is the gimmick. If he loses, he doesn't lose the title. But if he wins, he gets to pick his opponent at WrestleMania.
I did not know that. I guess that's
I picked that up somewhere.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. And so I guess it's clear that we're going to get Drew versus Sheamus at Mania.
I hope not, bro.
Yeah, I think I can see that happening.
I don't watch SmackDown anymore. Okay, bro. So was Edge on SmackDown?
I don't think he was this week. I watched SmackDown, but
Edge was on SmackDown. Now he's not on Raw. So what's Edge doing at this point?
And the funny thing about that was Edge was on article. He was on interviews and was talking about how he's full time. He's going to be there all the time, and he even went on NXT, and we don't see him. And I guess I don't know. Maybe they got tired, and it was like, I guess you are being utilized a little bit too much now. So like we see you everywhere, that we see you nowhere. They even have 50-50 appearances.
One week we see you, the next week we don't. The next week
we thought 50-50 booking was bad. Now they have 50-50 appearances. It just gets worse. So
wow,
that's all we get, man. Then we get Riddle and Lucha House Party defeating the Hurt Business. So the Hurt Business, looks terrible after this because they're losing the match. But the positive for this is that they're still making Lashley look like a monster. I don't know what this is leading to. It's rumored him and Brock. I heard him and Brock, but that wouldn't make sense to me because it's two dominant heels. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's building to something. Just a match against Brock to me I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he has, I would be okay with like a Lashley Braun for the U.S. Championship at Mania and have Lashley beat Braun. I'd be fine with that personally.
Yeah, well, but Braun's gonna have his hands full with Shane McMahon by next week, bro. Like we gotta see Shane and come on, bro. Come on, bro. What are you kidding me?
Oh, so you think Braun and Shane at Mania?
That's a WrestleMania. Oh, bro, they have to stop. Like at some point, it has to all stop, bro.
Yep. I agree.
Oh God,
I agree. We get backstage. So, like I said, you're the king of backstage promos, man. I just lose interest. The Miz and Adam Pearce, I said that, and we get another one with Bad Bunny winning the 24/7 championship, Vince Russo. So, recent reports have stated that you have Bad Bunny and Bow Wow both being a part of the PC.
Bro, not only let's go one step further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bro, like, all right, we got Bad Bunny and Bow Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, here's the whole reason why they did this 24/7 title. Okay, bro? Because, mark my words, doctor, Bad Bunny is bringing the 24/7 title to Saturday Night Live. I don't think anybody, I swear to God, I think Vince still believes like Belushi and Aykroyd and Chase are on. Like, I don't think Vince understands. Bro, people stopped watching Saturday Night Live like when Will Ferrell left.
Right.
Like, that was 15 years ago. So to them, bro, I'm telling you, the big deal is Bad Bunny wins a 24/7 title, and he's going to bring it on Saturday night, and all the millions of viewers watch Saturday Night Live.
I'm so excited to look at Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
Bro, come on. Their thinking is like, are you guys like kidding me?
Oh, man.
I would just love, bro. I swear to God, I would pay them for one day, bro. I will pay them money for one day. Just let me sit through meetings at Titan Tower from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Bro, in that one day, I would have enough content to do a year of freaking podcasting, bro.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. That would be hilarious to do. Actually, I would hope that that they would allow us to do that. As Michael would say, we want more cowbell. There you go. I got to figure it. And the only prescription is more cowbell. There you go. James agrees with this as well, and Aaron thinks it's yeah, I wow. I mean, this is a dream come true for Bad Bunny because he wanted, I don't know the guy, but I heard he, 40 something million views on YouTube. Is going to be on SNL. SNL is, a legacy. So, I mean, but clearly bro, he's doing well.
It would be one thing, bro. I get all that. I understand marketing. I understand. I get it all. But you've got to be driving these people to a good show. You've got to be driving them.
That's correct.
And The Rock and you're going to drive them to an hour-long gauntlet match, and people are going to sit there and watch this. That's the thing, bro. That great, bro. Casey guy has a 97 billion download. Tremendous. You can't drive people to this show.
Yeah, I agree 100% to that. That's an excellent point because it's like, okay, they're going to come and they're going to stay.
Like, can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine?
Yeah. So basically, they're going to come. The ratings are going to be bumped next week, and they're going to have Goldberg come out in the beginning. And people will be like, see, I'm ready to come back now. Goldberg's going to come. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're going to have like the Lucha House Party, win a match, and then extend the segment to like a 6-man, and then they lose. And then Sheamus comes in and wins a match, and then they extend the segment to a tag match. And then he's going to lose the tag match. And then Riddle's going to cut a backstage promo. And then somehow he's going to get just decimated by Lashley, who's going to change that into a 18 match against the Hurt Business, who's going to lose.
Wait a minute, bro. You're forgetting one very important factor.
What's that?
Retribution, bro.
Oh man, how can I forget? How can I forget? Vince?
I mean, bro, that's the thing. Like, if you've got a hot product and something really cool, and now you're going to drive a whole new audience to that, great. But you're driving them to this.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Charlotte's Flair and Asuka against Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. So this was a shocker. So Lacey Evans was not physical in the whole match. It was even talked about, and then she drops off. She drops down from the ring and said, I can't say verbatim what she said. I don't remember, but she said something about you nasty, and then she announces that she's pregnant. I don't know if Flair knew that, because he asked her like, "Are you serious?" And then he started dancing. I don't know.
Now, people were telling me, because I was doing Twitch while I was watching this, people were telling me that it was being reported as a shoot that she's pregnant.
Yeah, so I heard it was a shoot.
That's why they have to do this.
Yeah, I heard it was a shoot. Yeah, so she wasn't physical at all in the match. Sometimes you have some type of pregnancy angle where you're physical, like the Lita thing and things like that back in the day. So. But I mean, from what I heard, it was, because I went straight to, I got a bunch of messages and went straight to my sources and things like that, and was asking if it was a shoot. And from what I heard, it's a shoot. Charlotte kind of played into it like it was an angle, so I was like, okay, this may be an angle, but I heard it was a shoot. So we'll see as the weeks progress. But I mean, if she really is pregnant, that's fantastic. I mean, she's a Southern Belle, happily married woman who, I'm sure she'd love to start a family. That's fantastic for her. Yeah. So I'm all for that, but if it's an angle, I wouldn't want that, though.
Yeah, I got to tell you something, though, bro. See, this is the thing, man. In a case like this, bro, if you've got a woman, like you had a Becky Lynch, you got a Lacey Evans in this case, bro, if you've got a case like this with these women where they're borderline family, career, bro, the WWE is really making it easy for them.
Yeah.
Because, bro, if they were making buku money hand over fist, they may put it off for a year or 3 years, or, bro, they're making it really, 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 really easy, bro.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. And they tried the Flair thing with her. That didn't work out too well. And so I heard there was even some plans of having a really big spot for her at Mania too. But at the end of the day, family comes first, man. That's without no hesitation, family comes first. And, her and her husband, if they want to start a family, I'm all for it, man. You get my vote there. So
yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, major kudos for that.
Yep.
Next, we have Kofi Kingston defeating The Miz, and he gets a spot in Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, I'm cool with this. There's no payoff payoff to it because Kofi's not going to win, but at least it's something different. I even called this last week when Greg was on the show. I was like, why don't I just have Kofi in it, instead of The Miz? I think The Miz being in the match was a terrible idea anyways. He was Elimination Chamber. Oddly enough, WWE must be watching our show, Vince, because what happens is Miz gets out, Kofi's in. And so I said, if you want to make Kofi relevant again, what would be cool is if somehow he beats a few people, kind of does the Kofi Mania thing, and then loses last minute to Drew McIntyre, broke Claymore at the end or something like that. Because right now, as far as the Elimination Chamber for the Raw side, I'm not interested. I mean, my interest is very low because I don't see Drew McIntyre losing the match. And if he loses the match, I think that would just be terrible booking. A hot shot and have him lose and then gain it back at WrestleMania, especially where there's no intrigue as far as angles are concerned. If you're really going to do the Sheamus thing, I mean, who really is buying into this feud at all?
I don't know. I can't believe they're going to go McIntyre Sheamus at WrestleMania, but I really can't. Hopefully it's a smoke screen for something else they're doing.
Who else though, Braun? I mean, who else is there? Who else do you put in that WWE Championship? And I agree, I do not at all want to see Drew versus Sheamus.
Bro, to me,
who else do you put there?
the only one is, and he's kind of kayfabing it, and that's why I'm thinking, there may be something there. Bro, the only one you could put in that match is Cena.
Yeah, I've said that before. I agree.
That's really the only one, bro. If you've got Edge and Roman and Cena and McIntyre, bro, you're not going to do better than that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally fine with Cena, McIntyre. I've said if the goal is for McIntyre to have that kind of next level rub, you beat Goldberg at the Rumble, and you can't. I mean, as far as anybody who's on the current roster, they don't have a better name value than Goldberg, that's for sure. Yep. So you have to have someone with a equal or better name value than Goldberg.
Yep.
You definitely don't want to do that. There's definitely nobody on the roster right now that can share that.
Yep.
And so you gotta go with equal or better name value. And Cena's the only person that's available, right? Well, according to recent reports, it doesn't look like he's going to be there because of movie commitments. But
yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But he's really the only person I can think of that would be a relevant name in that spot for sure.
Yep.
But I mean, we'll see. But I think we both can agree that for name value sake, for the WrestleMania. I mean, Drew McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, and Sheamus. Like, I'm all for Drew, but Sheamus, they haven't booked him strong enough for that.
Man, I just think Chris, I want to see how you feel about this, and being a psychologist has a lot to do with this, bro. Here's what I don't think the WWE is banking on. And I want to know how you feel about this, Chris. I honestly believe that they are banking on when the restrictions are off, all of the people are just immediately going to come back. And I've been saying all along, and I'm speaking for myself, bro, I'm a guy that loves to go to sporting events. I love to go to concerts. Mm-hmm. Bro, I'm not going to be in a hurry to be the first guy back. I'm not going to be in a hurry to be, isolated for an entire year, and then I'm going to step in a building with 20,000 people. My point is, bro, even when these restrictions are lifted, mm-hmm. bro, I believe that we are talking at least another 3 to 6 months till people get comfortable. I just don't think, I mean, what do you think from a psychological point of view, bro? I can't see people, wearing masks, being isolated, and then all of a sudden, okay, it's over, guys, and 30,000 people are running to a building. I can't see that, bro.
Yeah, it's a really dicey thing. It just really depends on the level of interest. I mean, sometimes restricting someone in that sense can cause a backlash. Psychologically, it's called the negative effect syndrome. And so sometimes that can cause a kind of recoil or backlash by having so much COVID restrictions that causes people to kind of just want to, defiantly say, I don't care, we're going to be around each other anyway. So we've seen a lot of that actually. Yeah. But when it comes to ticketed events, the Super Bowl was, a third of it was packed. I mean, it was third capacity. So, and this is going to be the same place, Raymond James. But I think they're not going to have any issue with the 25 to 30K they were thinking about having. I don't think that's going to be an issue because people are looking forward so much to having that type of WrestleMania feel again, especially since it was 0 people last year. But what I think is going to see, I think the problem we're going to experience, Vince, is that it's going to be another empty promise. It's going to be one of those other ebb and flow. Speaking of psychology, WWE is the king of ebbs and flows. I mean, you'll have Legends Night one night, and then you'll have 50-50 night the next night, the next week. And so I don't see a problem with I don't see a problem with WWE maximizing or selling out just because people want to see wrestling again. I don't think it has really anything to do with WWE. People just want that energy back. But unfortunately, what we'll see, what I think, here's a prediction for me. What we'll see eventually, it'll dwindle down again.
Chris, it's funny because I remember here's what I think is happening. I think they're holding off on a lot of things. And bro, I'm telling you, I think while they're holding off, by the time they get there, people aren't going to care.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, bro, I was faced with this a lot where I wanted to always do something big. No, too soon. Hold it off. And I say, hold it off for what? You don't know what tomorrow brings, bro. Yeah. Do it now, and then we'll come up with the next best thing and the next best thing and the next best thing. Mm-hmm. But I think, that they're holding off, the Heyman Brock Reigns, the Reigns Rock. I think they're holding stuff off, bro. And I'm telling you, I think they're in jeopardy of people not caring, man.
Yeah. And I think that they've really pigeonholed themselves into creating that type of product now. I mean, it's like, again, they're so money driven, money hungry, and they have enabling networkers now to say, you don't even need to present a good product. Again, it's typical television production is that you're kind of doing your best to maintain that slot. I mean,
Yep.
I haven't watched TV all my life. You do your best to maintain your primetime slot.
Yep.
That's how network television goes.
Yep.
If you have good ratings, you'll maintain the network. I mean, television shows aim for either that afternoon slot, that like 3-4 p.m. slot, or that 7-8 p.m. slot. That's typically the two sweet spots when it comes to network television. And so, especially the prime time, and this as a writer back in the day, that prime time slot, that weekday 7-8 o'clock slot, that's where the people aim for, and they do their best to produce ratings to stay there.
Yep.
If you aren't living up to your expectations, you either move or you get kicked off.
Yep.
Simple as that. Real easy. It's television production 1, 2, 3. And 101.
Chris, that's another good point you bring up, because I was just thinking about this today. Bro, I was just watching Seinfeld. He was doing some corporate gimmick, talking in front of a bunch of people and stuff. And bro, he was talking about like the first 4 years of the show. Mm-hmm. Like nobody was watching. They thought it was hysterical. Like they were doing this show to pop themselves. Uh-huh. But then he said something very interesting, bro. He said what happened was Ted Danson left Cheers. Cheers was over, so they put they put Seinfeld on, I think it was Thursday night. They put Seinfeld in that time slot. That was it, bro, because that was a hot night for TV. And I'm sitting here thinking, bro, at what point do you think about moving Monday Night Raw?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, you're seeing this show stay on Monday night for decades and ratings going down for decades.
Yeah, consistently every year it goes down.
Yeah, at any point do we think about, well, you know what, maybe we should move this to Thursday? Like, God, bro, I just I just keep asking myself, bro, what is that bottom line? Is it $1 million? Is that what we're looking at when they go to 999,000?
Right.
Are we now in trouble? But I mean, inevitably, that's where it's going. Why are you waiting, bro? That's where it's going.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's been over the past 2 years, they've reached record lows with just like $1.5 million, and things like that. I mean, can you imagine that? Shy and there over the past 2 years, they've had numbers shy of 2 million viewers. Can you imagine that in your in your day, 20 years ago in the Attitude Era, that they can you imagine Vince's reaction if he looks at the numbers and they averaged 1.8 million viewers?
Chris, that's what blows my mind, because when I was working for WWE, WCW, TNA, Chris, I knew if I do not get ratings, I need to be fired. I need to be fired. I am here to get you ratings. If I'm not getting you ratings, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And that's why it just blows my mind, because who's taking responsibility? Like, why are the same people still there? I mean, bro, come on. In anybody's job, it doesn't matter what you do. You don't do your job, you're fired. Can you imagine a baseball manager, his team loses 100 games for 10 years in a row and he never gets fired?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge college football fan, and if you are a part of a major franchise, I'm a Ohio State guy. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Florida, Alabama, especially. And if you're not living up to the expectations of the franchise, you're gone. You're gone. And they're even willing to pay out your contract for you to leave the team. I mean,
it's so bizarre to me. Everything is like bizarro land. It just makes no sense, bro.
Not at all. And it's like, you want to, if the expectations are high, you want to live. Like, for instance, in the 80s, we had Earl Bruce, right? And he became known as Mr. 9-3 because a lot of his seasons, he would do 9-3. And so, although, a team like, say, like Vanderbilt or Tennessee or something like that, they would love nowadays. They would love to see a 9-3 record. That just didn't live up to par for Ohio State. Yeah. And although Earl Bruce, he beat Michigan, he was 5-4 against Michigan, had a winning record against Michigan. That's fantastic. He didn't take us to championship heights.
Right. Yep.
And so they let him go. You know what I mean? And so and they brought in, Joe Cooper. He was there 13 years and lost 10 of them to Michigan. That was nuts. But his recruiting was good. He would, won his Rose Bowl. He would win Big Ten championships and things like that. But eventually, he kept losing to Michigan, and he got let go. What I mean? So it was
you talk about business. It's business, bro. It blows my mind. Like
100%. Yep. Absolutely. But for some reason, WWE, they're still holding on, man. They're actually getting more money by having a worse product. So,
bro, I was talking to you earlier about, because I was watching a documentary about it today, about the plane ride from hell. You're familiar with that, right?
Oh yeah, 2002. Yeah.
So, bro, you're familiar with the alleged reports concerning Michael Hayes and Linda McMahon?
Yes.
How is that man still working there? Like what? Bro, I don't get it. But let's move on.
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. We get Orton cuts a backstage promo, and he interrupted by a Satanist, I guess, Alexa Bliss, sitting in the middle of a Satanist symbol, or just
Ben Hameen's gonna have a picnic. Oh God.
Yeah, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. This carny, hokey stuff.
Well, let me tell you what I'm really concerned with, Chris. This is like, you guys got to be freaking kidding me. She's talking about a rebirth.
Yeah.
So what that is telling me, bro, is we are now going to see another dimension of the Fiend.
Yes.
You haven't done anything with the Fiend. Like, wait a minute. Time out, bro. You guys screwed up Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Now you've done nothing with the Fiend, that now he's going to warp into something else because you guys don't know what to do with him. I know, my God. And it's going to go back to what we were just talking about. Nobody gets fired over this.
Right.
Nobody's being fired, bro, over this.
So we're going to create the Fiend, who was just such a bizarre character. They would have the regular Bray, and then the Fiend came out. I remember it, SummerSlam a few years ago against Finn Balor, came out, just new music, the head type of, the kind of shrunken head type of thing. It was the head lantern, new music. It was bizarre. No selling everything. It was a bizarre thing. And then that they ruined it.
How does that happen, Chris? Who's accountable for that?
See, here's what I can see happening. I can see, because Vince vetoes everything 11th hour. I mean, that's and the writers are just simply the scapegoats. It's a Vince show. He hires people to take the blame. I mean, that's essentially what happens, and this. And you didn't experience it back in the day, but it's a whole different ball game now. Vince McMahon hires writers to take the blame for a bad product. And so what happens is when you see all this 50-50 stuff, from what it appears, and I've talked to people too, it is we had this in mind. Vince at the 11th hour switched it up, and we see it live on television. That's essentially what happens.
Bro, it's unreal what we're witnessing here. Is unbelievable.
Yeah, and we see it with characters too. You're literally jacking up people's characters, just messing up people's brands, because this week, okay, yes, I'm interested. This week, you gain a few pounds. I'm not interested anymore. And there was some, big story that came out recently. Kurt Angle was talking about how Cedric Alexander didn't want to do something that Vince told him to do, and that he was blacklisted for months because of that.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding? Like, is it that type of? Are you supposed to walk on eggshells that much that you disappoint or does something that he disagree with, and he takes it to heart so much that he blacklists you and book you improperly for a period of time? And that was a time when he was just like in a really odd, just really weird spot. He was tagging up with Cedric Alexander in and out, and it was just a really dull spot for him. And I'm like, and he was, he was supposed to, he was feuding with AJ. And then there was some teasing that he was going to get the U.S. championship, and then he just started losing, multiple matches. And I was like, oh, okay, that was probably the time when that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really, Vince? Like, is it that bad that if you do one thing? I heard about the sneeze story too. You can't sneeze around him. Have you ever witnessed one of those sneeze story episodes being around Vince?
Well, bro, I've witnessed something worse than that, bro. In Colorado here, bro, like today, bro, it was like -12.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the thing with Vince and Shane is, bro, it could be -20, -25 degrees out. Bro, they wouldn't wear coats. Coats were for girls. Oh, be a part of my friend. Yeah, bro, freezing, snowstorms, they would not wear coats.
Wow.
See, bro, that's what we're getting into now, too, bro. We're getting into Vince is facing. He is face to face, bro, every day when he looks into that mirror with his own mortality.
That's true.
And he can't deal with it.
Yep.
And that's why, bro, the control is becoming more. No, I could still do this. I'm going to show them all, as Vince says on Master Shoot Theater, F them. I'm going to show them all, But seriously, bro,
Yeah.
It's getting worse
Yeah.
and worse because he knows he's not that same guy he was, but he's going to make everybody believe that he is. So
Absolutely.
It's like, I can't, Chris, I can't imagine what it must be like working for that man in 2021. I can't imagine it, bro.
Wow. Yeah. Yikes. Next week it's Shayna Baszler defeating Lana. There you go. I really don't have anything to say about this.
Team Pretty, bro. Team Pretty.
Team Pretty. Oh well, Team Pretty was that's Mandy and Dana Brooke, according to Ben Hameen, right?
No, Shayna Baszler and Nia, according to Ben Hameen, Nia Snacks, but that's Team Pretty, bro.
They're Team Pretty. Okay, I thought
no.
Dana and Mandy was. Mandy just had a random backstage thing with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and I mean that's how we're using Mandy Rose now. Just a really quick backstage segment with Bad Bunny. Yeah, you got all this talent, and Vince, you literally have 3 hours of show. You have 60 talent. You have 60 people plus, and for some reason, you can't utilize 30 talent in a 3 hour show.
Bro, I'm begging anybody to go back to, I think Ed and I wrote 9 3-hour nitros.
They need to do Pretty Hole.
I'm
my hole.
Bro, I am begging anybody to go back and watch the 9 nitros, 3-hour nitros that Ed and I wrote out of the gate. I think the first one might have been like October 10th, 1999 or something like that. Bro, just count how many talents are on the show. Mm-hmm. You could say I suck. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not what I'm talking about. Just count how many talents are on a 3-hour show. Bro, I guarantee you it's at least triple, if not quadruple the amount that you see on Raw.
And it should be. It should be. What in the world are you bringing all these people? What are you paying them for? I mean, and I know a lot of times they're being paid to stay away from AEW. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. I mean, a lot of times they did that with FTR. They kept their contracts for a while to keep them away. They kept Brody's contract for a while to keep him away. They froze Rey Mysterio's contract when he was injured, and he wanted to get out. And I'm like, man, they're really keeping these people away from their competition. That's how much control they want over their brands. And I just heard a report today that Vince is going. To your point, Vince is fining people on Twitter for promoting any third-party promotions.
Because I own your name. Can you imagine? Can you imagine working for somebody like that, bro? It's basically I own you. I own you, bro.
I own you, you independent contractor, you.
Bro, which is so bizarre because it has been proven over and over and over again. They can all be successful and make money away from Vince. And there are so many outlets and avenues to do that. But yet, bro, again, they make you believe without them, you're nothing and you're never going to work in this town again. And people buy into that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Twitch idea to get people's Twitch, but I mean, if for the sake of branding, if you own them and they're making money, you want a part of that too. I guess from a business standpoint, you're kind of hogging that, hogging their privacy. But sure, it has to deal with money, perhaps. But first of all, how can you own someone's name and still deem them an independent contractor? And it's like, and then not only do you own their name and they're still an independent contractor, they can't even promote outside events on their Twitter page.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Talk about a total grip on someone's identity, essentially, that they can't even make money elsewhere, or everything has to run past you. I know I have friends who are in the WWE right now, like top names that we'll text back and forth, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man, you got to clear it through WWE." I'm like, "Oh man, come on!"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's quite sad, man. Like, here's my thing: if you want to do that, you got to take that IC tag. You got to take them. You pay the people benefits. Pay them benefits. Yeah. If you want to, either they're independent contractors or they're dependent contractors. You know what I mean? Like, or if they're not independent, give them benefits. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Sheamus, he wins the gauntlet for the last person in the Elimination Chamber match. Again, Vince, I can see Sheamus. I can see Drew winning, and somehow we get Drew Sheamus at Mania. As much as I don't want to see it, man, I can see it happen. He beat Drew McIntyre at the end of the match, man. Pinned him.
Bro, here's another thing. I'm really trying to understand. Bro, I do let me just give it a plug there on russosbrand.com. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. Bro, I do a show with the guy from the UK. His name is Billy Body. He's my news guy. Okay. And bro, he's usually dead on. That's why I have him. He's usually dead on. Bro, do you know that there was a plan, according to Billy, allegedly, where they were going to have the Fiend Orton match at Fastlane? And bro, the idea was they were really going to try to make people believe, as a shoot, Chris, you ready for this?
I gotta be.
That Orton died in this match. Like that Randy Orton is dead and no longer with us. They were discussing that. That's what they were going to do at Fastlane. But my point is, I'm trying to understand this. So wow. Orton burned the Fiend, right? They had this big match. Yes. He burned the Fiend.
Didn't get arrested for it at all, by the way.
Didn't get arrested, but he knows he burnt the man. So, like, okay, bro, you burnt the guy. So why are we getting freaked out when Alexa Bliss is coming up on the screens because you're afraid that the guy you burnt is going to come back? So in other words, you did intend to kill him. Yes. But since you didn't kill him, now you're afraid he's like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking here, bro.
And he's coming back from the ashes, according to Alexa Bliss.
A rebirth.
Yeah, she's throwing ashes around her pentagram. And so somehow he's supposed to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and he's supposed to be this Phoenix Fiend, I guess. Now, I mean, I don't know what we're expecting. Are we going to get the Phoenix Fiend now?
No. So
but what we are going to get is a different version of an unsuccessful Fiend, as if this was going to be different.
Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm just going to go back to this to make a point. I'm going to go back to Breaking Bad. Okay, bro, you've got 5 seasons, 16 shows, 80 episodes of a very involved show, Chris. Over 5 years, a very involved, intricate show. Bro, why is that show more easy to follow than a freaking wrestling show? Like, seriously, bro, that show was easier for me to follow than what I'm watching here.
Yeah. Because at least it's cliffhangers. At least it's like we've said before. I've said this many times on this show. There's a sense of continuity when it comes to television production. It's a, wait till next week. That's what I loved about that's what I loved about the Monday Night Wars. Everybody had to put their best foot forward because it was a high level of competition. It was leading people. The cliffhangers were bananas during the Monday Night War. I remember Tony Schiavone, because Sting's my all-time favorite. Tony Schiavone, we've got to go, we're out of time. And then Bobby Heenan was like, no. As they're going out, Sting's coming from the rafters among all those NWO people with his bat, and I'm just like, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch the show next week. The cliffhanger for this week on Raw was Sheamus winning an hour-long gauntlet against Drew McIntyre. That's what I'm going to hang on for next week.
Well, hold on. Think about this too, because this show is supposed to lead us into Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it's the go-home show. Yep.
Okay, so think about this for a second, bro. So Sheamus is already in the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
Drew is already in the Elimination Chamber. Drew can't lose his title at the Elimination Chamber. So my hook and the reason why I'm tuning in is, okay, bro, Sheamus just beat Drew. So if Sheamus wins the Elimination Chamber, he's going to get another shot at Drew and he could win. Like, what are you smoking? Like, who is thinking that, bro? Like, what the heck, man?
That's such a good point. So, but because Sheamus beats Drew,
right?
Sheamus is the last person who's going to come out to the match now.
Right.
So Drew sacrifices. I talk again, if anybody they try to protect Drew. But Drew, there was nothing that really came out of the fact that Drew McIntyre literally got pinned on a match on the go-home show of the Elimination Chamber on a match that he's going to defend the title. He got pinned by one of the contenders of Sunday who wants to beat him again for the title. I don't understand the logic there. And there's the thing. It's like, we really didn't need this. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a beat the clock challenge. I don't think it's worth using the people in the, because I'm all about characters. It's about heroes versus villains to me. Why are you risking protecting the character? You're protecting the people. These are all former world champions. They're all contenders for the WWE Championship. And the go-home show, all of them but one lose, including the WWE Champion. How am I supposed to be intrigued for the Elimination Chamber match? I think it would have been better if they wanted to keep this concept, you could have done like a beat the clock challenge with all of the other people fighting. There's plenty there, and that would have been a good way to use other talent that they're just sitting back doing nothing. You could have had a beat the clock challenge. Whoever has the lowest, time is the sixth person. At least that would have been more intriguing than doing a gauntlet match that every contender except for Sheamus loses, but we're supposed to be excited about the match coming on Sunday.
They don't care, bro. They don't care. They don't. They got the check with all those zeros and they don't care.
Yep. They don't care, man. And they got Bad Bunny now, Vince. So,
and they got Bad Bunny, the 24 champion.
Yes, exactly. Plug the brand, my man.
Guys, I have 2 platforms with dozens and dozens of different podcasts with many, many different celebrities from the business. We just launched the beautiful podcast with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. So you can go to russosbrand.com or patreon.com/Russo TWC. Different shows on both platforms.
Good stuff, man. And this is going to be a week with Russo, man. So this is part 1 of many this week of part 1 of 3. So we've got 2 live shows, and we're going to record Writing with Russo. That's our new weekly show that's actually debuted last week. It's been getting a bunch of positive reviews.
You're not going to have me. You're not going to ask me to book Bad Bunny, are you?
I may. Since you said something. So this week tonight we got Legion of Raw. Come back tomorrow, same time, 11 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do Vince Russo is going to come back for Unscripted. He's going to come back on the show, do his 3rd time, because the first time was like just you hopped on IG and we're trying to get everything together, and you were just kind of hanging out chatting with us, and then you came the following time and was live. So Vince will be back with us to answer your questions tomorrow, and then further on in the week you'll see the Writing with Russo's episodes launched on the YouTube SK Wrestling page. So it's going to be fun as always. We might talk about Bad Bunny. We'll see. He's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone. You've watched another episode of Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. So long.